Okay, so as a human, surely that person learned a lot more, but as part of a human, he surely didn't learn only that thing, but also other things. But surely, as part of that exercise, that was the only experience. So that is more like a machine learning exercise as well. As part of your machine learning, I'll not go a lot deep because it's a really big topic. So we will require multiple days for that, surely. So to learn it, I'll just give you the quick notes, like as a quick information, what you should read. So whenever you want to learn it, you just go for supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforced learning. If you learn these three topics, you'll learn basics of machine learning and actually able to learn a lot more. Also, when you're learning machine learning, people have a tendency of thinking that Python is the only language which learns machine learning, which is actually fully wrong. There is multiple languages which learn machine learning. As part of industry, the leading languages is R programming and Python. So if you learn R programming, you again get a lot of scope in multiple companies because a lot of students don't even know that R programming exists or is used for machine learning. It's a statistical language. So if you learn R programming, surely you get a very good hit towards your placements as well. Now, moving to our artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is making intelligent machines and programs. So basically making a human, not exactly, but for at least a certain amount of tasks. So it can automatically do things. So basically you're going to talk a lot more about artificial intelligence today. So I'll not just go into depth for that one. Normally, artificial intelligence itself doesn't have any fixed algorithms. It is based on the deep learning and machine learning mixed together. Their algorithms brought together and customized to make an artificial intelligence engine. So to take a quick review, deep learning is like your neurons in your brain. So basically they are designed so that you can get information from any of the surroundings. You learn from it, you understand what is bad, what is good, and start using it in real life. Machine learning is more about explicitly programmed, not and also done code. So basically they are programmed first and then they are retrained so that they become better and better. They are normally done on a basis of a certain problems. Artificial intelligence is normally application of both of them coming together. So let's take to the next topic, which is how actually this AI works. And a lot of people have this quite nice thought that, oh, AI, it sounds really easy. It must be nothing but just taking some algorithms, putting it together and done. It's not actually that way. AI depends upon in which environment it runs. So what I mean by environment. So I'll take a human example for that one. So when a baby is born, whether it is born in a certain country or a certain place, it is going to learn a particular thing as part of that nation, as part of that surrounding. So basically, let's say if a child is born in Japan, it starts learning Japanese language, even though that person was having a blank canvas. So even if an Indian person just goes to Japan and a boy normally or a girl gets birth over there, they will start learning Japanese faster. The reason is because the environment suits it. So the environment you are, that is going to give you a lot more understanding. Similarly, a child born in India starts learning the Indian languages. Since we have many, so surely we can learn a different ones and also different accents depending upon which place you belong to. Similarly, if a child is born in USA, they start learning English language. So also the American English, surely. So British English is something which is towards UK. So they'll start learning the American English and also the accent depending upon which state they belong to. So basically, it's a similar thing. AI works in a similar fashion. AI just learns from the surroundings, take the information as part of it, and whatever it sees around it, it accepts it fully. It doesn't say like, oh, this is not to be accepted. It will just take every information it can get. If it is allowed to store it, it will store it, analyze it. If it feels it is good, it is going to keep learning it. If it feels it is bad, it will start learning that I should not go for it. That is a way where I explained, like there was a boy who started to put up like his hand into the like hot water. He realized one thing: I should not do that. That's going to really hurt me. So basically, it's a similar thing. So how does it work in a very generic note? Firstly, your artificial intelligence machine starts listening. So we say it as listening because that's a technical way of saying it. That is, it starts learning. So listening is more about taking data. Artificial intelligence algorithm will set up with the help of its pre-available data as well, and in most of the cases, and then it will be ready to accept the new data basically. So when you're working with your artificial intelligence algorithms, they have a certain set of beliefs or a certain set of data which is prefixed with it. What it means by prefixed is it will take that data, get inserted inside it, and then it's going to just wait. That is, it's going to take that data. It is going to learn from that data about what is that data, how it functions. For example, let's say if a person is more than age of 60, the chances of diabetes is more than 70% or something like that. So basically the available data. Now, if your data itself is faulty, surely that machine is going to get faulty as well. Then whenever an action happens, so we call this as a trigger. So normally when you go into a technical world, normally we never call a thing generally as an action. We start calling it as a trigger. So whenever you press a button, it's a trigger. It's a trigger which says button clicked. So we always say it as a trigger. A trigger could be anything. So whenever a trigger happens, the AI will take the input of that trigger, analyze that data, and according to that, it will take an action as per its knowledge base. So knowledge base is your database, actually, from where it got trained. So it is going to take the action. So once that action is being done, it analyzes again like what happened with it, and which takes us to the last step, which is saves the data. It will take that data which has been taken, that is the input which we received, the output which was done, that is the action which was taken against it, and with the help of feedback mechanism, that is with the help of its learning, it is going to take that information back. It's going to learn why this happened, how this happened, and what would be the next step. That is, once it gets the data, it's going to learn about, I have realized that this hot water was not something which I should go for. Another very easy example to make you all understand, because you all are quite like playful people. So let's say, for example, you're playing a game. So it realized whenever I shoot someone, I should shoot from a certain distance to make it hit. Whenever there is a wind, if I shoot 1 meter down, it's going to hit on exact target. So that is sort of information it starts getting. It starts going to learn like from a lot of moments. And of course, after 100 or 200 plays, it is going to actually beat the game very easily. So it's a similar way. So basically it starts getting the data, starts improving from its response. Even if the response is bad, it will still improve. That is, it start realizing I should not do this. It's going to use it to learn further. Now, what is termed as good or bad depends on your machine. That is, you cannot just say that this is good, this is bad by your own sense. For example, let's say someone working in marketing department. For them, there is an artificial intelligence algorithm being set up. For them, they feel that when I am working with artificial intelligence, whenever a person comes to my office, I should understand what type of clothes they wear, what type of car they came from, and as per basis of that, I'm going to take the decision that when the meeting has to be scheduled and which hotel we should go for. So they're using an algorithm for classification of the clients. But let's say the same scenario with the person being taught with finance department. Finance department will say, okay, that's fine from where he comes from, but I want to check the history of his company. I want to check before what investments he did. And on the basis of that, we will decide how much quote has to be given, or should we do business or not, because it seems that this business has not been doing it well and they have been just like not paying on time. So basically it's not a good client for us. So the same person has two different things, which is in different ways or different concerns. So as a marketing person, they may say, okay, that's fine, but this guy has got a good network of people, so I can get business out of it. So where a finance department will reject a person on the basis of its financial condition, the marketing department might accept that person on the basis of its network, that is, its overall known people. So the same two different departments might reject on the very different basis and might accept on the very opposite basis of the same criteria. So it just depends. So that is the reason what is good or bad, we cannot decide it. It takes time. Every person learns it in a different way. That is the reason, as we say, normally not everyone does like the same player. So if you ask someone who is your favorite cricketer, many people will have nearly the same favorites, but after some time you'll start realizing that many of them doesn't have very exact favorite players. Many people have different ones, even though everyone is watching the very same matches. Still, they will have different favorites. So this just depends upon the psychology and the environment in which they grew up. So the same are with the machines. The data which you feed, if that data is pure, data is good, it's going to learn well, it's going to use it to get better. But if you just give it but if you give it some wrong data, it's going to just get really bad, and it's going to start realizing itself that, oh, I made a wrong machine. So, for example, a lot of people would have seen like a lot of pictures, like Terminator. We have the Indian movie Robot. So it's more about like in there as this. So if you give something an emotion, if you give something a bad intent or bad data, they are going to turn bad. That is actual reality. It can happen. Now let's move to the AI classification. That is how you can classify AI itself. So firstly, you can classify the AI based on its availability. So what it means by availability is you can just classify the AI itself as narrow AI, general AI, or super AI. In a generic way to understand, it's weak AI, standard AI, and strong AI. Narrow AI is called as a weak AI because this type of classification of ability is on the basis of doing certain actions. This machine does not do a lot, like to do a lot more. It might just be used in places where there is a restricted action needed. One of a quick example to give this, most of you might know, or you would have seen videos of it and read about it, about Amazon's warehouse. So as part of Amazon warehouse, they have robots which normally takes your products here and there in USA. So in India, they don't still have that technology fully implemented. But as part of that, they just take the necessary packages from one rack, they just send it to the delivery area and they just leave it. So that is normally a narrow AI type of thinking. That is, it doesn't know a lot. It just knows what it needs to be done. And it requires an AI functionality because it has to walk through that particular place. So it should know how to do the movement. But other than doing that movement, taking the right package and putting it in the right place, it doesn't have any other sense. So that's a narrow AI or a weak AI. If you move to a next one, which is your general AI, or we can say a standard type of an AI, it's a very basic level AI, which is like humans. So it acts like a certain human which can function and which can know about how to do certain things. So this type of AI is really still in progress and we're still making it. This type of AI is also called as GAI, that is general artificial intelligence. That is, it's general AI basically. So general artificial intelligence is really hard to do. Very few people have ever able to achieve it. Though there is one such robot which actually exists with GAI. I had a quite lucky chance to meet her. So I'll say her because she's a girl robot in IIT Bombay. A few years back, it was really a nice interaction session over there in the AI workshop actually. So just a quick question to you all, like anyone of you know like the name of that robot, ever heard about it? And do you know like what is something which has really become famous about that robot? Anyone has a chance? Yeah, so I just find like few people answering. That's Anirudh Krishna, Akansh, and Achyut. It's correct. It's Sophia. And yes, Akansh said the right answer. It's got a citizenship in Dubai. It's very big one. So it's the world's first robot to ever actually get a citizenship, because normally a citizenship is something which is given to a certain human. But yeah, this robot actually is like a human. I've actually talked to it. So she was there in a sari and she is able to eat. Surely it's just stored somewhere and just throws it out. But able to eat, has emotions, can react in rage, can actually slap you, has a good humor, and can adapt to lots of languages in the world because it's a robot, so it can learn anything really fast. So it was literally like talking to a real human. And yes, it is designed in a way where all its skin is made like a human skin. So it's an artificial developed one in biological labs. So surely when you touch her, you'll feel like it's a human. So she really looks like a girl. Okay. If you send her somewhere and people don't know about Sophia, you'll actually feel like she is a real woman. So yeah, that's a really scary one actually. So she got a Dubai citizenship in Dubai now. So basically, that's what we say a GAI. So if you're interested about learning how this GAI can be taken to such a level, you should surely Google about Sophia. So Sophia is a big one, and you should surely go and learn about it. It's really fun. Then the last one is strong AI. It doesn't exist actually. The super AI, a strong AI, it still doesn't exist. So general AI is something which is actually took so many years to develop, and this Chinese company was able to develop it. So basically, the super AI will take, I don't know, a lot of years again to make it. So what is super AI? Super AI is farther than humans. Now, it's not like we can't make it. We have made a lot of progress with it with like supercomputers and quantum computers to make them, but uh, we don't want to. The reason is because as a lot of people argue on internet that if the AI goes a lot further, it is going to exterminate humans. And actually that is a quite possible reality because Sophia has proven that she can do things like humans. Since it has a kill switch, we can stop her at any point of time. But yes, normally if we develop a super AI, it will go further our levels. It can actually disable its kill switch itself. So it's like we have created ourselves a weapon which is not good for our own self. So it could be really like a picture then. So that is the reason they are taking very strong precautions when they are trying to develop a super AI, so that they can restrict it in every possible manner, because it can learn from all the humans in the world. So it's very easy to beat humans in their own game, because it can learn surely millions of times faster than us. So if we take 100 years to learn something, it will just take 1 minute or 2 minutes to learn the same thing. So we don't want that sort of problem. So that is the reason super AI is still non-existent. Actually, a lot of people say like there are some things which can be classified as super AI, but yes, it has still not got any type of approvals in the worldwide community to say anything as a super AI. So super AI is something basically which goes beyond human capacity and can do multiple things. There was some research which is still going on, and countries are doing about war. That is, when they have to go for war, they can use the super AI to win wars. So that way, no humans will be involved in it. But the problem is, if you make an AI learn how to fight, they can fight you back. So basically, they can just take over the world. So that is the reason they want to avoid it. But yes, that is something which might come true in someday in the future. But that is a type of AI as well. Now, that is about ability of AI. Now, it's also done as part of functionality of an AI, that is how an AI functions. So first is reactive machines. So reactive machine, as the name suggests, it reacts on a certain event. So it is just coded for a certain event. It could be learning certain events. That is, whenever you put your hand in hot water, go towards the left, put in the cold water. That was a reactive machine. So it's based on the reaction. So the reaction time, or the overall thing which is needed against it, it's dependent. So the reactive machines are only on basis of what action needs to be taken. Everything takes action, but reactive machines are something which is like an archive of multiple actions which can be taken on certain scenarios. So whenever a certain scenario happens, it takes a certain action which is fixed against it, or which it has learned from it. Then limited memory. It's called as limited memory because it's not like it has a limited memory. It can have 100 TB or 200 TB space, but it's not about that. It's about learning from it. So it doesn't like keep learning from it like multiple times. It learns only for a bit of a time and then it discards it. So it learns from a certain thing. It only takes the very necessary data from it and discards the whole scenario. So it can start with working with a new scenario. Today, we are going to talk about both of them. That is, we are going to talk about an example on reactive machines and one in the limited memory. I'm going to ask you all questions like which one of them actually falls in which of the four categories, or in some cases, multiple categories as well. So just make sure you remember it. So that way you can answer the questions. Then theory of mind. So it's more about like a human mind. So theory of mind is when machines actually start acting like a human, then it's like theory of mind. Self-awareness. Self-awareness machines are real fun. So these are type of self-heal systems. That is, it is able to do how to do certain things, and it's able to learn from the surroundings to do certain actions to repair itself or make itself go further than its own capability. So it is something which is like a blank canvas. Actually, it's more of your GAI. So it will just start learning infinitely in a way. So it is mixed with your theory of mind, of course, to make it like a human. In some cases, it is not. So to give an example about that, so there is an Indian woman in MIT who actually created a sort of algorithm. Actually, I also learned from that and actually did my final year project on the same. It's called a swarm intelligence. It's a very rare topic, actually, everyone. So if you want to go and read about it, please go for it. It is really a rare topic people deal into and has a lot of potential in the market. So what is swarm intelligence? Why only humans should get a chance, right? The bugs, the animals are more smarter than us in a lot of things. For example, if there is an earthquake, surely we are not going to find it until unless we have a richer scale functioning for us. And when we find it, it is always too late. But yes, the dogs, birds, they find it very early. They don't even have to think about it. They have senses which will automatically make them figure out there's going to be an earthquake or a disaster coming around. So they have surely some natural senses which are built into it, which we don't have. So similar way, this swarm intelligence functions on bugs or basically swarms. So one of the examples to give, so one which I did and one was done by the MIT professor. So she did research on termites, and the termites specifically into Australia. So as part of Australia, the termites builds termite mounds. Termites are a type of a race which falls into ants, though they are different. So ants and termites are actually two different things. So you have always termites eating your wood, right? So that is a different type of termite. This termite is not that one. This termite is a quite big one, and it can actually suck your blood. So this termite is a quite bigger one, and this termites live in Australia. The Australian termite mounds can be even bigger than a human's size. That is, the height of the termite mound can actually go bigger than us. The problem in Australia where this termite mounds exist is that there is constant rains which normally like swept it up, or there is wind which normally destroys that, because surely they are good builders. Termites are called to be one of the best builders in the world, and yes, that just gets destroyed really fast. So they don't have a very strong structure though, but they are very good at building things fast. The problem with termites is whenever something gets destroyed, termites can't talk. They don't have a language to communicate. So what they do is a termite will first go to the location. If he finds out, oh, there is a hole. So he will not just go back to all the people, start laughing or start like screaming, oh, we have a problem, let's fix it. No, it's not going to happen that way. It's just going to go back, bring the necessary clay, bring the necessary mud, bring it, start placing it. When it starts carrying a mud, other termite starts looking at that termite and starts realizing, oh, he's moving that way, there could be some problem. So some termites might just start going in the location where he's going, and some people might directly start taking the mud, depending upon their intuition. And they'll just start following. Slowly, slowly, there will be a big line of termites going and actually fixing it, and they'll be fixing it in no time. Real humans, if you keep them into certain situation, which was also actually taken as part of it. So her name is, if I recall properly, Radhika Nagpal, which is one of the professors who did it. So Radhika Nagpal was the one who did this research, and humans are never that good. So if you give a human that situation for 2 days, we will be crying on the fate, and we'll be just screaming and blaming each other. Who was responsible for making that part which got destroyed? Termites don't think that way. Termites are just like, we have to make our things secure. Let's secure it and just get over with it. So anyway, they don't talk. So basically, they can't even fight. So they just take it, they just put it across, and they just do the job. So this theory was applied by her into machines. So she made some small termite machines, so basically small robots, which are able to place building blocks to destroy, like create a structure and repair a structure. The amazing result, it is better than any AI which we have ever built. So that is the artificial intelligence. The second example, which I did for like fun as part of my major project. So I did it with a recommendation system, which like normally we use a general recommendation system as part of our Amazon and such. They're also improving it. So I did it with Swarm Intelligence. So there, what was done is basic. I took the example of bees. Bees are fun. So bees normally go to different flowers and take the nectar, and they bring it back. Though, if you go to different locations in the world, you'll find out that the quality of the honey is going to be different depending upon where the bees exist and how they take out the nectar. So I actually gone through and did a lot of study on that. It took me a month to actually figure out all the things. And I did that knowledge, I took that knowledge and just applied as part of an algorithm. Where now the algorithm, where I just found out a fun fact about bees, that bees just take the nectar, they just firstly build up a small honeycomb, that is a small honey pouch, and then depending upon the quality of it, they start eliminating which one of these is not good and which one of is good. Also, depending upon which season, which week, which day, which time, duration it took to fly it through, it is going to eliminate the features and decide on what days from where the nectar should be brought and which things has to be mixed back to make a beautiful honey. So that I took all that knowledge and created a beautiful event-based algorithm where I was able to figure out a human's tendency, what is the next thing they would like to buy, and if they want to buy a certain thing, what are the features they will normally go for? Are they going to go for ratings? Are they going to go for the pricing or such? So basically, it used to increase the customers feeling or customer experience towards the overall thing, and they are going to start feeling, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to get a good result. I'm getting a good customer experience. I don't even have to think what I want. They already know about it. Yes, it was not 100% accurate. So I got a just accuracy of 82%, surely. So it was not a lot good. But yes, basically that is how algorithms can be built. So that is swarm intelligence. So surely if anyone is interested, make sure you go give up a read in swarm intelligence. The very easy way to start learning about is a very old algorithm about ants. That is how actually ants are able to find up a sugar cube or sugar granules and actually bring it back to their place. So it's a very fun algorithm. So let's start with our real-time applications now. So first application is for police, that is adultery detection. So how does it function? So there are each one of the application I have 4 steps which I have defined in a very generic motion. Okay, because if I go in a real depth, it's going to really take a lot of big lesson. So, but I've tried to make it as much clear as possible as part of the content. So firstly, what happens is whenever an image and videos are uploaded. So actually, this is one of the reasons that how actually India is currently banning all the websites. Okay, that they're banning the adult websites. It's very easy to do actually, and they also use it for a lot of different types of things as well. Like with your movies, whenever a movie is screened, how does the movie board know that how many adult scenes are there? They just like can't keep all the critics busy for it, right? Because they get literally a lot of requests on movies. So they just use such type of AI to actually eliminate it. So basically, this will just use the images and videos which are uploaded as part of it. It is done for images as well as your videos like your movies. Then it will check for the adult or racy content. Now, there's 2 different types of functionality. Adult or racy is a different factor as well. So it's, I should say adult and racy in most cases. So adult content surely something which is a certain level, that is certain age group can see it. Racy content is something which is not actually good for anyone. It is something which is really bad for everyone. So that is racy content. That is which is not liked by any age group particularly. It's bad. And adult is something, it is bad, but okay, it is tolerable for few people. Then you, that algorithm flags it for whether it is racy or adult with certain percentage, with it tells like how many percentage it was deviated, that is how strongly it feels that it is racy or adult. After that, it takes a human approval for verification. This is optional. This might not be that, but normally they keep it just to make the machine better. If it is wrong, it learns from it. That is, if the human approval says no, it was not adult or AC, it is not. It's fine. It's fine for us. It's fine. Many countries have different laws, right? The thing which is considered as adult in India might not be considered adult as in, let's say, in Australia or New Zealand. They don't care about it basically. So just depending upon the human approval, it is going to take the actions against it and it's going to learn from it. That is basically how a basic adultery detection system runs. Now, to do this thing, that is figure out if a certain is actually adult or not, it has to surely learn from some existing database, which has already been considered as adult or racy. And basis of that, it creates a model and keeps learning from the new things with the basis of human approval. So to make such type of an algorithm, what you need and what are the algorithm types which might be needed. So as part of this, normally the algorithmic concepts which can be mixed. So I always say mixed because AI is something which is an application. It is not existing. You can find surely libraries for this one, but if you want to make it yourself and make it powerful, you should use this one. Also, yes, this thing is also used for your spam filtering, by the way. So if anyone is interested into writing up a research paper or going into spam filtering, Beckfield, a lot of people got their PhD clear from spam filtering. So it's really useful. I think so. Our HOD also got it clear from spam filtering. So yes, it's really useful. And this are some concepts which are added together to make it. So there's no one concept, it's multiple concepts coming together. Firstly, they use decision trees. So I hope most of you might know decision trees. So the people who don't, decision trees is like your trees. We have a root that is the start of the problem. Then it is classified into multiple small branches. That is, okay, it's for this parameter, is it good or bad? It's good. Okay, go here. If it's bad, go here. From here, again, it will start classifying multiple things and it will just keep going to the leaf. The final output is going to get the answer. So on the basis of that, it classifies it on multiple decision trees on multiple parameters, gets an average of them as prior of priorities. What it means by priority is, let's say there are 5 parameters, for example, parameter 1 up to parameter 5. Parameter 1 has a weightage of 5, that is priority 5. Other parameters has a priority of 1. So basically, if the first one says it's racy, the chances are high it's racy. So basically, on the basis of that, you can give a weightage when you're trying to average it out. It's really important to remember this. Not everything is same. When you work with certain fields, some things have a more value, something has a less value. It is also, many people say it's a conflict of interest, but it's fine. We have to do it. If you want to run a company, if you want to run an algorithm, if you want to do a project, we need it. A lot of companies have priorities. For example, when you start working as part of your career in artificial intelligence, companies will start saying it. Our focus is high value clients. I don't care what my low value clients do. I want it to be perfect for my high value clients, even if it disrupts a bit to my low value clients. Try to make it normalized. So they'll be like, try to balance it enough so that low value clients doesn't get affected, but I want to increase my sales from high value clients only. So your priority changes. So that's a real life. You cannot just average out everything. You should have a proper hypothesis, a proper general idea about it. Even when you make projects, whether it be for your like anything, like in general your life, now you can start making it really helpful in your future, of course, for your portfolio, and even for your final year minor projects or anything. First, figure out a situation. Normally people make a mistake. They just say like everything is fine. That's a bad idea. You should have a proper idea why you're doing it, for what reason you're applying it. Then as part of this concepts which go for it. So the second one is RNN or CNN, which is recurrent neural networks or convolutional neural networks. You can go for either or of them. This is used to learn from your videos and from your images to make the current model more stronger and keep learning forward. So that is the reason we use this neural networks as part of it. Then we use image and video classification algorithms. It is also needed at times. So when you're making your recurrent or convolutional neural networks, which algorithms you're used for image classification or video classification is important. Now, why? In some cases, some videos are blurred out. They have a low quality. So in that case, we require the image video classification with a certain accuracy where it is actually able to make it corrected and able to learn from it. In some cases, the quality is very high. So you require algorithms which runs with pixelation. That is, it runs with high pixelated graphics and videos to get information. Also, you have to ensure that when you're doing all this, it is optimized. That is, it should not take like years to train it. You should know how it can make it faster. It should take a bit of a time to train it, but yes, surely it takes a lot of time. So for an example, I tried to train up an algorithm with 8 GB RAM, my own laptop on 8 GB earlier in my college days. And it was a 400,000 database, that is 4 lakh. It took me 4.5 hours to train it. So yeah, it takes a lot of time sometimes. So it had total, I guess, 18 or 19 columns. So 18, 19 columns multiplied by 400,000. It took 4.5 hours to train that algorithm of mine, which was on Swarm Intelligence. So yes, it depends how much big your database is. So depending upon that, it might take a lot of time. So make sure you make it optimized. Don't make algorithms which are not optimized. It's going to just come back and hit you. So this was a basic application about it. So let's take a quick look into it. So as I said, I'm going to show some demos. So, okay, I'll just go back here. So basically this is your Azure portal, by the way. So this Azure portal is currently surely connected to me, and I am the one who has a host to it. So since I am a Microsoft certified trainer, actually I get a lot of keys free for it. So every month I get $100 free. So I just keep playing it, and I need it surely for trainings. So as part of this, I'll surely not go with explaining what is cloud actually, because we are not here for that one. So basic information, subscriptions are the one which gets charged. So as part of your Microsoft Azure, whenever you work with something, subscription is your billing unit. You create everything as part of a subscription and you get charged against that subscription. Resource groups are the one in which you actually deploy your resources. So you require resource group to run. Currently, I've already developed a resource group called as SRM. So let me just go into this SRM resource group, and I'm going to create up my first resource. So this resource is called as cognitive services. So I'll just go to cognitive services. I'll just create a cognitive service account. It'll take a bit of time. It has started the deployment. We can also start a lot of things. So surely today I'm not teaching about like how to work with Azure clouds, or else I would have shown a lot more features as part of it. So it is getting deployed. It will get deployed very fast because this is a really small servers, and surely I have a good bandwidth from which I'm sending data. So once it's deployed, it's really easy. It's running on their own server. Okay, it's ready. So as part of this one, I've got my first cognitive service which has been set up. So normally whenever you set up, it will give you information about different ones. So I'm going to go for the content moderator one. So let me just move to the content moderator. So I'll just add a content moderator in my cognitive services account. I'll select my resource group, let it be in central, I'll just make it to East US actually, because some features doesn't function actually back here in India. So make sure in cloud that is a problem. So skcog, let's say content. It requires a unique name all the time. I'll go just for a free tier because we want to just test it. So I have some images which I'm going to test. So apologies, ma'am. I'm already going to show some bad images now to the people. Not really bad though, which they already speak. So nothing is something which is going to like spoil them anyway. They are more spoiled than this. I already know that. So that's not a problem. But yes, we are going to go for some like bad images to test it surely, because other way it's not fun. We'll never come to know if it's working or not. So we're going to actually test it with some bad images and say what it says. So it's not actually bad if you see. So when you say it's like, oh, it's nothing bad, it's normal. We see this like all the day, or we just talk this all the day, but still. I would have gone for a real big ones, but yes, surely we have to keep the dignity of it. I cannot go for really bad ones. So it's getting deployed, it's ready. So once it's ready, I'll just go to this review tool, which it is made. So once it gets ready, you have to just go to the moderator review tool. I'll sign in. So it will take a bit of time to sign in. That doesn't matter a lot, actually. That's one of the problems of this. So let me just set it up. So I'm doing it from the very start. Actually, I thought like I will set it earlier so save time, but then it is not fun as well. Because if I do it that way, you'll never learn like how to actually work with it. So that is the reason actually I thought like I should not do it in that way. So I'm just showing you across actually how it is created as part of your cloud. So that way even you can use it, because today no one actually uses and goes and do everything themselves. They surely use one of the other things as part of this one. By the way, this is my actual number. Okay. So just in case if someone takes it, note it. That is my official number. What happened to this one? Yep, it's logged in. Let it be Central India. Let's say Team SRM. No. Okay, I agree. Create team. So normally this is a review team, as we say. So they review the content. So I've done this earlier. So this is how it looks like. It's very easy. So let's try it. So I can try it with some text. Okay, so let's have fun with the text. So I'm just saying, say you're an idiot and you should be fired. Surely I just want to make it racy. Okay. So let's say if it actually thinks anything is bad in it. Submit, click here to view. And it says like it has any profanity. No, that is like it doesn't have any bad words. What is a PII is like it is something which says that, oh, is this something having any personal identifiable information? That is PII. Personal identifiable information is all about like your numbers, address, or such. So let's try that in a more easy way or more understand way. So this is to a certain person living in Mumbai, let's say, and has been a complete, I'm trying to write bad words, okay, person, and has this number, let's say some number, and needs to be killed. So I'm just writing something completely useless. Okay. So let's check what happens. So you can see it doesn't like that. So it has said it has profanity. Don't write bad words. So that is how it functions. It actually figures it out. Okay, didn't find anything as the number or the address. So basically it didn't have any personal identifiable information directly, but it normally finds that as well. So for example, if I, for example, just take the same thing again and try it with address, let's say living in Mumbai, let's say 410206, let's say B901 Arcadia. So I'm just putting some random idea. Living in person from address. Let's say, for example, needs to be killed. Has the phone number. Let's say +91. Some number. His name is let's say Martin. I hope anyone's name is not Martin over here. If it is, sorry. It's not about you. It's just for testing purposes. Okay, still I didn't find it. Okay, that's fine. So normally it just like use up the things on the base. Oh, oops. Okay, wait a minute. It didn't test that one, right? Oh, yes. Okay, it is over here. Okay, still it was not able to find it for some reason. Okay, anyway, but normally it does find it. So it depends. So I have to just now go and say it like, okay, this is wrong. It will do it. Now let's try with images because it's actually used a lot for images and videos actually rather than just writing up content. Yes, it's also used for content for review teams as part of your Google Play or as part of your like Facebook or such policies. So let's go for an image. I'm going to choose the files. Okay, so I've already downloaded certain files for this one. And I already apologized. The files are not fun. Okay, so as you can say, it's not fun. So these are the files, and I'm going to try. One is a cat image. I love cats than dogs, so sorry. I'll just submit it. Surely the first one should not have anything. Let's check it. So the first two things say it's not adult or racy. So if I open it, it says the racy score is around 31% and adult score is around 20%. So surely both of them are like, it's not a racy or adult content. This thing is trained as per American laws. Okay, so if we can say in India, like if it's a bullshit is a bad word, it will actually start telling it it's adult and racy word. If I go to the scat, it has the minimum score, but yes, still it feels like some way, somehow, somewhere, it's 0.5 percentage adult and 0.8 percentage racy. It's just because it depicts a sort of a human behaviors. It might be just matching it with that one. So it gives a little bit information about that one. Then this one, surely it's bad, no doubt. So it has an image which is actually bad, and also the written word, multiple words, which is bad. So adult code is 97% and a racy core of 97%, saying it is adult and racy. So that is how it. So basically, this is how you off it. So if you off it, it will start taking it as it is off. And whenever we do it, it will start taking it as a review, and it's going to start taking it as an understanding about how something is good or bad. So this is how your police departments actually function with adultery content. So I would have shown surely a lot of examples with video as well, but surely we don't have that much of time on our hands. So let's move forward. I hope everyone had fun with this one. So this was a quick demo though. We have two more demos to show most likely. I'll try to do two more. So I surely have one more. The next one is real-time application in defense. That is as part of your defense, how real-time applications functions. It's also same in games. So the concept is taken from gaming, from your gaming theory and how this thing functions. So firstly, it's used in surely a real life heavy things, and it's normally used in modern warfare. That is, firstly, it takes and tracks up movement of soldiers and vehicles and starts analyzing them, that how the soldiers or vehicles are actually moving. And once it's tracked all of them, it will start creating a mind map of the moving target to understand the trend. So this is something which has been seen. So for an example, there is a real-time incident which happened a lot of years back. It's not with the fight though. So the French army was going through a area. It happened in America actually when they were having the war. And when they were going through that place, there was a big bridge. It was a wooden one, but surely not that sturdy one. At that time, we didn't have a lot of concrete which was coming in. So the problem with the French army, or actually with every army, is that they have a good discipline. Now, why that was a problem at that place when they were walking, since it was in a rhythm that was a perfect rhythm which was followed. Everyone was stomping. That is, everyone was just like putting their legs on the bridge every same time and just like pressing it with the same force with every good movement they're doing. And since they normally take the movement in a real fast manner and real strong dedication, it was real good pressure getting implied on the bridge. What happened at the end is some of the army fall into the valley and died. because it was so strong that it was a resonance. And surely you would have heard about the resonant effect into the physics, that it amplifies. So it amplifies the vibration sound to be a great stomp and created cracks. And only the starting army, which actually started creating cracks, got through. Towards the middle and towards the end, the bridge collapsed. After that, a rule came in over all the world that whenever you go to any places like that, and whenever you get deployed, don't follow the rhythm. Be in relaxed positions, which you would have seen, like whenever the army gets deployed somewhere, only when they're in the marching position or when they're in the war, only that time they normally, like if it is required, they follow the rhythm. If they are normally moving somewhere, they'll never follow the rhythm. They will go in a relaxed mode. This was done due to this incident. Actually, this incident caused the world to understand, don't do it. You might die due to a rhythm, which was not actually, you can say, a fun accident, because surely a lot of people lost. So rest in peace for all of them. But yeah, that is something which happens. So that is something which happens with every army. And still today, surely every army has a rhythm. That is how a person moves. So it is said that if you want to win against any person in any fight, just see how that person fights for a certain moment of time. Now, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you're able to survive the attack, surely. If you survive through all that attack, able to dodge it or able to somehow take it, once you figure out how that person moves, you'll be able to actually beat that person, because a person has a psychology how they move, and that is used against it. So this is how the professional fighters use it. And that is the reason, like, only few such techniques exist in the world which doesn't follow discipline. Nearly every technique has a certain rhythm. So this rhythm is taken as part of the movement, as part of this defense system, as per as per our games as well. That is the reason the bots and expert difficulty in games are able to kill you so easily. They know when you're going to move and how you're going to move, what is your speed. Surely they have some cheating as part of that as well. So that is what they do. After that, once they realize that how a person is moving, how everything is moving, they will figure out the next movement of that person and use it to target them. It will add some additional parameters with it, that is the wind, the recoil of that particular gun or that particular machine which they're using. Like it could be an artillery as well. The distance as a parameter, like at what distance I'm shooting, if it is a mortar particularly, or artillery function, or something like a missile. And with all that, it will attack. So for wind, recoil, distance, it doesn't require a lot of learning. It already has a lot of information about it with training. So it doesn't require a lot of information about that, but it requires information about user, surely. Once that thing has been added, it will attack, and it will devastate the user in a certain manner where it will be nearly 95% or 100% hit. It's surely a critical one, and it will surely make that person go down. So that is how the systems work. They're really dangerous, and surely that this type of systems are existing, but not allowed to employ that easily. But yes, it's useful. Then successful delete the profile and they save the data for trend for future analysis. They'll delete the profile which is created earlier, and they will just go for saving the data of the current trend which was analyzed for that particular army, that particular soldiers, to be used later. So that if we find any type of a movement of soldiers in future, at the later part of the war, we don't have to analyze it. We normally know how a person is going to move now, because normally they have the same discipline. It's easy to kill. So it will just go on rapid firing and it will literally kill people. One shot, one kill normally. It's really dangerous. So that is sort of like thing it does. Now, what type of algorithms go with this one? So with this one, normally they use firstly clustering algorithms, that is to check if the target falls into certain available cluster of known patterns. So why clustering and not classification? Classification is on the basis of certain parameters. Since the data over here is not going to get saved, it's going to be a new one. We have to always run an exploratory analysis and match it with our current data to match, to see which type of movements it is following. So we save time on analyzing multiple times on every movement. So it saves us time for analyzing a user and attack it. So it gives a lot of scope with the optimization of the person, and it helps us to optimize ourselves with the movement of the person. It saves us time to overanalyze it and saves us time to attack it on a certain note. Then it uses a time series algorithms to forecast and identify the next path to take as per the latitude and longitude. Visually, it's using a geographical algorithms to do it. So it uses the time series forecast to find the next data point, which is going to go across on the basis of the time basis, because surely we're moving on the time scale in this case. And with the help of that time as x-axis and y as the long, like the coordinates, is going to hit it. It has been found that this thing has really killer accuracy. Normally, the accuracy for this thing is around somewhere around 81% to 98% with proper training. So If you have a people of 100 people marching somewhere and this thing is employed, you have only 2 people surviving in some best scenario. In worst scenario, 19 people, which is still bad. So it can literally do vast devastation. It also uses the image and classification, video classification algorithm to see the target and use thermal vision, which is also actually one of the best part of it. It can kill people in night. So yes, that's useful because surely in night humans cannot fight properly. Even with thermal vision, we have limitations as a human. This thing can actually fight like an owl. It doesn't care. It can see like as clear as day in the night as well. So it doesn't matter to it. Even actually it can fight in fog. That is, even if like enemies try to use a smoke screen, it can use thermal vision to find people and kill. So that is how devastating a thing can go. And that is a similar concept which you see in games. That is the reason. So for the people who actually play a lot of games, you have a really good future if you want to use artificial intelligence in defense. And it's recommended actually. So people normally say like, if you want to become an expert into artificial intelligence, you should play strategic games. Strategic games, okay, not fighting games. Fighting games are not going to help you anything. So playing PUBG or Fortnite or like Counter Strike is not going to help a lot. It will help you only a bit to learn something. But if you want to really like make your skill really go forward, try to play some strategic games if you're interested in artificial intelligence. Really helps. But yes, don't overdo it. Surely, like you have exams to give, don't fail due to it, or else you'll come back and tell like I told it and you failed. So yes, play only until the moment you need it. And as part of this games, I'll just give you like few games which you might like, which really can give you learning, but play to learn, not play to play. That is for fun. Also learn how things are happening as part of it. So one is Total War games, which is the strategic series of Total War series. You have a lot of Warhammer, you have like Shogun 2, Shogun, Rome 2, a lot of games, really fun. You can surely also play building or simulation games. So simulation building games where you simulate something like Sim is actually a good game. So people use it for fun, but yes, it's a really good way of playing. Sim City, Civilization, and even now there is a lot of new games playing. So even I today play a lot of games, okay, because that literally help you understand something, but don't overdo it. Okay, half an hour or 1 hour at best a day, not more than that. Don't overdo it. It's not just for entertainment. We are doing it for learning. Yes, and sometimes if you want entertainment, like go for more like amount of playing it. Good time for kill as well. So learning plus killing time. It's nice. So I have a quick question to everyone now. So since I think so, we have a bit of a time. Like I'm doing it like on time. So if you remember at start, I told about the different types of systems as per of their ability. So as per ability, surely I'm not going to talk on this one. Everyone can guess it very easily with which one it goes with. That is weak AI. It goes with your general AI or it goes with your super AI. Anyone can easily tell it. It's very easy. Though I would like to ask it on the basis of its functionality. So what do you think, which functions it mimics? Does anyone remember? You can put it in the chat. So let's see like the first one who gets it correct. So which type of functions do you think this particular AI might be using to function? It has one which is particularly important, and the answer to that is the given information on the screen, that which type of AI it might be going. And I would have given you options which one that is, but now I think so I'll just differ from it. So does anyone remember it? That which type of functionality it might go for? Does anyone remember? Okay, I'll just show you the screen particularly about that one. So these are the types. Okay, so just write it across. So because I'm going to ask this question again. So it's reactive, limited memory, theory of mind, and self-awareness. So which one it goes for? Anyone? Okay. Okay, I can see two people giving the correct answer. Okay, it's like I say, it's Manikant Reddy and Akansh who have given the very exact answer actually. So the right answer is actually limited memory is the main one, because as you can see, it says like it only analyzes data and keeps only the certain part. If every target is going to shift, it doesn't keep the data for every target. It only takes the trend. It doesn't take the data for the users. It only analyzes it for a time and then discards it. That is the functionality of limited memory. Now, the second one was reactive. It's action. Which moment to trigger? So it sets up a scheduled trigger, that is, it schedules when to attack and it attacks. So that's reactive. It doesn't use theory of mind or self-awareness because it's not a human. If it starts acting like a human, it is bad. It will start making mistakes. So it's a fixed algorithm. So that is the reason normally they don't use it. They are trying to implement it, but they normally found it as a problem because sometimes, let's say, if some of our own army person changes clothes and enters into their clothes and tries to go in that cases, this machine kills them as well. So that is the reason they want to put a theory of mind as part of it, so that way it can start recognizing our people. But yes, at the time of the war, there is a lot of like things going here and there. You can't see a person's image that easily, and thermal detectors are not a good way of understanding a person's image. So yes, not helpful a lot. But yes, this is the two major ones which are used currently. That is limited memory and reactive. Theory of mind and self-awareness has not yet been implemented. They're trying to use that principles as well to make it human. So I can see Akansh has asked a basic question that it means basically it can emit a person basis of what they're carrying with them, like an emitter. Yes, but what, let's say if your enemy finds out what you're carrying and they make a duplicate of it, you're gone. So this was a problem with it. So that is the reason they discarded that idea. Yeah, but surely that was the idea which was pitched and they discarded. But yes, the way they are solving it, just to give you all a hint, if you want to research on it and make a project, surely you'll get a big job. Okay, you'll literally get a big job in some of the companies which deal into defense. So what they're trying to do is like, surely we cannot add some like objects as part of the people because enemies can steal it and actually get against ourselves and use that thing against it. So what they're doing as part of like making it useful is they are adding some, they are thinking to add a certain way of figuring out a movement of people. So as we know, like every person has a way of movement, that is how they people move. It has been found that rather than your fingerprints, your retina scans, your face detection, the best security in the world, which cannot be easily copied, is the movement. So we don't realize it, but actually every person has a unique way of walking and running. We don't literally feel like it when we see it. It's impossible to detect as a human normally. But yes, actually every person has a different movement. Okay, even girls who do catwalks, so we think like they're doing, everyone is doing the same catwalk. It's not. Everyone has a different movement. It doesn't feel like, because it's so minute we can't detect it, but a computer is able to detect. It's world's best security. Every 3% has the same, which is the most unique thing in the whole world now. So, and that is very easy to detect, very hard to copy. It's very hard to copy someone's movement. Only a robot can do it, which is basically useful because a robot, if they deploy it, we can check it with the thermal detector. It's always a good way of attacking. So basically that is the way to do it, but it is still in progress. So if anyone wants to do a research on that, best of luck. It's a big field. Okay, it's a really big field. That is, you try to detect someone's movement. On the basis of that, you figure out who it is. It is also used to even find criminals these days. So when inside in a certain crowd, if someone is moving, they can analyze a crowd's footsteps and actually figure out where that actually criminal is heading towards and in what part of that criminal area they are actually standing. So yes, there's a lot more things other than your eyes, your fingerprints, and your faces. Okay, so yeah, try to learn about that. Okay, let's move to the next one. Next one is into airline industry. So normally airline industry uses it in a lot of ways, but I'm not going to talk about autopilot. It's very easy to find what autopilot does online. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that one. It's very easy to work with. So we are going to go for a bit different one. So autopilot is fun, but we are in air and we have limited connectivity. What if something fails in midair? We will be in trouble. So that is the reason this system is about finding any disturbances in your plane devices. There's inside your plane, you have multiple devices, your motors, your engines. So basically, you have your containers, you have different types of liquids which are stored. You have different types of suspension springs. You have a lot of mechanisms for thermal detection and thermal control. So for all these different types of multiple devices, other than even this, we require a lot of information and maintenance of it. A human can't do it in a very quick manner. If something happens, even for a minute, the whole plane might crash. So we don't want it to go crashing. So that is the reason normally this system works. So what it will do is it will just get connected. Once it gets connected, it will analyze the whole plane. It will analyze what is happening as part of that particular plane. It will get information through sensors. And even though we don't get signal on planes, yes, there is a way of getting signals. We have satellite phones, satellite connections by which you can actually send signals. They're sending signals. That signals are sent across, but that is only for figuring out what is happening. But at the same time, it has a self-heal mechanism. So a lot of people say, what is the self-heal? So basically, it's like a human gets cut, they automatically gets regenerated. Sounds good, cool. but really hard to do. Yeah, but they're trying to do it. But in Spider-Man, you would have seen it is done with lizard, and they're really trying to do it with lizard and trying to do it with cockroach, so that nuclear bombs are useless against us. But yeah, that's a different concept. It's for humans. With machines, we do it in a certain way where we are trying to go back and redevelop the code or move it. So for this, I'm giving a quick information about two different things which you should learn about it, because I cannot go in depth about them today. First is blue-green deployment. Blue-green deployment. Start learning about it. What is actually blue-green deployment? You're going to learn literally a lot out of it. It's a great deployment measure, useful for everyone, not just for artificial intelligence. It's a software development concept. Start learning about it. It's really fun. It's just a deployment concept, but really useful. You should know about it. The second thing which they use as part of their seal-fill systems is, other than the blue-green deployment, is reverse engineering. So reverse engineering, as the name suggests, it just goes back. So it's used. It's also called as fallback. So they had multiple versions, stable versions. So the first thing which they do is, if something fails, they have a backup code or multiple running nodes. That is multiple running codes. They'll just shift from node one to node two. If node one fails, they'll just move to node two to stabilize the situation. So that way the system goes back live. That is just like going offline for a few seconds and coming back live. Yes, but that few seconds could be devastating. This type of techniques have been used a lot in the past for a lot of security incidents and a lot of problems. So yes, that could be dangerous, but yes, it could be used. Now, how this thing functions and how this thing can be utilized as a cheat is, you can learn it a bit, not actually as a complete concept, but as a movie. If you see, I think it was You Can See Me Too. I think so. Now You Can See Me Too. I don't remember the name now. So it's a real fun movie. Nice movie. Try to see it. You'll really find a lot of like tricks which people play. So it's just illusion basically. So basically, we feel like the system is activated. It is not activated. It just move from one thing to another thing. It is like holding two balls in your hand, and you say it's only in one hand while it's in both the hands. So if one hand is wrong, the other hand has the ball. So it's just cheating. So basically, they just like move from one system to another. This type of system is called for backup. Blue-green deployment is moving to a more stable system where a new system is activated. So you can learn it online. The reverse engineering uses it to go back and check for any such code which has failed earlier and try to go back live. This is used by your Google and used by many other like companies like Microsoft, Amazon, where even actually I have been part of them, learning them, and part of sometimes for audits to check across such things and see that how these things are actually activated and corrected. So this is really fun. I've seen in like some companies happening it. Not directly, I was part of any of those though, but it's really fun learning where they just see how something is happening, and on the basis of that particular occurrence, if they already have data how to cure it, it will just go and apply measures. So it's just that if you get hurt, you know you have to apply a bandage. You already know the reason how to do it. You don't have to call a doctor to do it. So that is what it does. It is done in two ways. First, minimize. That is, if something happens, minimize the risk, minimize the chances of danger. Second, to maximize the output. That is to maximize yourself in a way where you can get the thing resolved. The next thing is, once this thing is done, once it goes into a certain category or of solutions where you can go and apply it, it also, if it's not able to solve it, if it is not getting repaired, it calls up for a manual intervention. That is, the pilot gets the signal so that they can go and check it. Also a signal to the ground team about a major security issue or a major threat to the maintenance, major threat to the system. So they can go and start figuring out what happened on it. This was one of the reasons that you would have heard and listened. I guess it was 714 or 614. I guess it's one of the airlines which got grounded from Boeing because they had a problem, and they have to go for a major maintenance check. But no one lost any life as part of it because the systems were able to figure out that there was a problem in the airline. Once the solutions are found, it will also try to archive it for future reference and load it into other aeroplanes as well. That is, just in case that solution was not found. And if it is even found, it will try to again learn from it and make it corrected that this was the right solution. If it is a new solution, it will add it. So next time, if anything happens like that, again, it will be more easier to at least minimize it or get it resolved automatically. Now, what type of algorithmic concepts can go with this one? It requires a lot more than normal three. First, it uses the time series forecast to see what can happen in the future when the maintenance checks are needed to be done or when the maintenance break is needed. So it uses the time as a series to figure out when a problem can happen. Then anomaly detection, that is to figure out any outliers. What is an anomaly? Is something which is out of the blue. That is, it is not normal. It uses that to figure out and consider it as a problem maybe and start analyzing it. So anomaly detection is normally used with multiple algorithms. You can use regression for it. You can use the clustering algorithms or classification algorithms as well. It uses all the supervised learning models, that is trained models for certain actions basis of analysis. Why not certain models I wrote up? Because it uses multiple models for multiple different types of engines and different types of equipment. So depending upon which device it is going to use a different type of an algorithm. The neural networks, it will use it to learn from newly generated experience and add it to the model to retrain itself so that that neural network can keep learning itself and keep going big. So that is how it uses it as part of its system and make it big. So just a quick question again to everyone. So out of that 4-1, which you think which gets applied as part of this one? This is going to be actually easy. Out of that 4 categories which we talked about, which one goes with this one? Like, does it goes into which all of them or like certain of them? That is reactive, limited memory, then theory of mind and self-awareness. Out of this 4, which are the multiple ones? It is multiple, okay? It goes and applies. So which of these multiple different categories it falls this AI into? I'm looking for the answers in the chat, everyone. No one is getting the idea. Okay, Achyut has given the answer as reactive, limited, and limited time. Okay, reactive, limited time, theory of mind. Oh, the question is simple. Which of these repeat like goes into categories of that multiple types? That is reactive, limited, then your theory of mind and self-awareness. So they have multiple ones. So which one, which all of them it falls into? Okay, so well, the right answer to this one is self-awareness, theory of mind, and reactive. It doesn't go into limited memory because it has to keep learning and archiving it. So it doesn't wait only for a certain scenario. It will take data of all the scenarios and not discard it. So it is not limited. It is going to use your reactive for reaction, surely for a certain base reactions from supervised learning methods. It is using the time series forecast along with your neural networks to learn from all the earlier things which has happened, along with its own able to do actions and application of it. So it's a reinforced learning, which is done as part of your self-awareness systems, and theory of mind because it actually starts working as a human to figure out whether to report it or not. So it has a good approval system as part of it. It's good, but I can see only like 3 people only answering. So I was looking forward like a lot more people will get engaged in it. I hope everyone is not sleeping. Okay, now that was all about the 3 types. But yes, as I said, I have a small bonus. So the bonus for this one is how a Q&A bot works. So it's your question and answer bot. So people think it's really hard to make bots, right? It's not. I'm going to just going to break that myth. It has become really easy to work with them. So for that, first of all, I have to go to a website. So I'll not try to run across a lot of time because surely we have to move on the 8 minutes to the questions and discussions round so that I can give 20 minutes to everyone to at least ask questions. So it's very easy. The website for this is qnamaker.ai. So I'll just put it in the chat just in case for everyone to refer it later on. There's also another website. So I'll just put that as well. These both are actually owned by the Microsoft, by the way. It's made by Microsoft. So I'll just go for my sponsorship. I don't have any. Okay. Okay. I have to create a knowledge base firstly. So I'll just create up a, oh, they just added a new feature to it. Great. Okay. So I'll just create up a new Q&A service that is needed. I'll just do it quickly because I just don't want to waste up time with this. I'll just go for the free one. Free one. It might take a minute to create it. I'll just show you quickly how it looks like. I would have given a quite good example and big lecture on this, but since this was not actually like the motive of that, and I added it as a bonus at the end because you can go and look for it yourself. Though it is surely a fun one, we can do a lot of things. So normally a lecture on Q&A Maker itself is an hour lecture. So yes, it takes a lot of time to explain a lot of features, but today I'm going to just show a very basic one. It uses semantic analysis, by the way. So it has a theory of mind principle as part of it. It's really a cool one. It's a bot which is getting ready within 5 minutes now. So let's get ready. You can also deploy it in a website, by the way. I'm going to also do that as well to show you all how it is done. But yes, I don't want to run out of time actually. Or else I would have shown you deployed and shared you the link to it. So you would have actually be able to test it in real life, actually going on that particular link and trying to put up your queries and see if the chatbot functions or not. So while people are asking questions, maybe I'll do it in the back. So in the last 10 or 5 minutes, you can like try to play with it. I'll try to do it, surely. I'll try to do it. So this all is also using AI, okay? Bots are nothing but AI. Okay, it is done. Okay, this thing is created. So once this thing is created, I have to refresh this page. Normally it doesn't function with a normal refresh button. They have a problem with that one. I hate it. Microsoft has a lot of problems with that one. But yes, Microsoft is one of the best ones in this actually. As you can see, I've got my Q&A service. There are keys to it. Okay. Okay, it's taking a bit of a time to get it ready, I guess. 10 minutes, it says. Okay, no problem. So I'll just show it in the last 10 minutes, I guess then. So just let's move to the next part then. That's discussion time. So how should we take the discussion? Ma'am, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. So ma'am, how we should like proceed with discussion? Like, have you already got some like questions from the students or just that it's an open forum?
You can put a open talk like what are their queries regarding the session, what they understood, what are the doubts, like that you can push. No problem.
Okay, no problem. So everyone, it's open. So I am making the chat public now so that you can ask questions in public. It becomes more easy actually to work with. So I'm opening the chat. So now inside your chat, you'll find the everyone option. So you can send it to like everyone, basically to anyone, basically. So that way, just you can put it in the chat. So if you have any questions, just put it. You can also unmute yourself and ask it. Okay, no problem. Just make sure you don't like mess it up. So you can raise your hand. You'll find the raise hand feature as part of your participant window. So click on the raise hand option. So I can see your raise hand and I will take your name so you can ask the question. So yes, let's move forward with it. And let's take it for the next 10 minutes. Then I'll again show you the small demo on the Q&A maker. And then we'll again move to the remaining time, whichever remaining, we'll take the remaining questions in that time. So yes, let's begin. Anyone have any questions? So not question about the session, okay? You can ask any questions. It's fine. It's all about artificial intelligence. You have in general doubts about artificial intelligence, about certain languages. If I know about something, I am going to surely tell about it. Yes, Akansh.
I wanted to know if you were aware of any tools that help to visualize the internals of a neural network or a convolutional neural network in general. A
Internals, like
network.
as in like how it is designed?
Like, no, so you know, in an abstract sense that it's basically an array of numbers.
Yes,
But
not
what if
actually in a
we
way, but
could,
yes.
what if like it's a state machine and it has a set of modifiers in between, and as it's passing through each state, different things happen.
Okay, yes.
So I'm not sure if this would actually be helpful to anyone, but I've always been interested in seeing like in real time visual representation of
Actually,
a neural
the
network working.
part is that neural networks cannot have a visual representation because it is not going to help. The reason why it doesn't help is, let's say, for example, you have an input. So that input goes through your lot of like neural nodes, which are created. You have a hidden layer and your like function layers. So with each layer, each node has a different value, which keeps changing with every new data which comes in. So even if you visualize it, what it will say is the value on that node, which is useless. It is literally useless. So even if you visualize a neural network, like a sort of a neural network, I'll just show you how it looks like. So it's something like this. So even if you like try to visualize some neural network, it is something like this. Like there are multiple nodes which are created. So I'm just going with the wrong design because I don't have time. So I'm just doing it. So let's say like this is the output. So basically what it does is it just goes like this. And let's say the correct path was this one. So these are the correct path to reach the current answer. So this is the possible paths basically. All the other things are possible path. So this is just the way of reaching it. So this is how actually visually a neural network looks like. So basically, even if you get the answer, what it will just show you is that this is input, let's say X, whatever you gave. This was the output which you got. Y, even if you like go for it. Okay, so this is what as an output you'll get as a visualization. It can be done, but you have to code it. It is not no tools available directly. You have to code it and do it because every neural network is separate. So you have to do it yourself. So with this first layer, let's say it is going to say like weight value 0.3. And here, let's say the weight value was, let's say, for example, 1.9. So this is what it is going to say. So this is what you'll get as a visualization. Getting it, Akansh?
Yeah.
So this is actually neural networks how function. Okay, that is what are they have multiple paths. Only which path I have to choose. That is what neural networks does. Nothing else. So
okay,
we feel it like a lot complicated in programming, which is really easy as a concept.
Can I get a follow-up question?
Yeah, sure.
So why do we use something that we don't truly understand, even if it is effective?
No, so this is understandable, right? You can see it actually.
No, I mean, so no. So my point is, you can understand in an abstract sense how this works, but you really have no idea how it's forming these associations. Like you don't know what associations it will form.
Okay, I'm getting it like from where you're coming. So see, the part is
This falls in the uncanny valley.
no, so
Kind of.
it's not in a way. For example, if I ask you, what are the languages you know?
English, Hindi, Tamil. Yeah.
Okay, so you know the three languages, right? So when you're a baby, if I ask this question and when I ask it now, when I ask it 10 years later, the answer will be same. Can't hear you actually. Your audio is gone. Yeah.
Might change.
Might change, right? That is the concept of neural network. So why you cannot have it fixed is because if you make it fixed, it's not neural networks. What you are looking for is supervised learning. So the concept which you're talking about is supervised learning. So this thing doesn't have a visual representation or associations with it because it is not useful. You can do it. It is, as I said, like this diagram can be taken or this associations can be found on every second you do it. But the problem is, let's say you take it today. Let's say, for example, on 2:42, which is current time, and you take the same snapshot at 2:48, the associations will change because it learned, right? It became better. So your earlier predictions are wrong now. That is the reason why don't we have a fixed image as part of it. So you can get an association with it, no problem. But the problem with it is that particular neural network image which you get or snapshot which you get is only true for that input at that particular time. That is at time X or time T, it is true. At time T2, it is false because it learned. It might become better. You're getting the logic behind it right now.
Yeah. Is it possible to like compare different models as they're being trained and then use the data collected over multiple trainings of multiple models to improve the training of future models?
Yes, that can be done. Neural networks are used for that. And one of the other ways, if you're interested, actually, I was going to show that as a demo, but yes, we don't have a time on our hand. So it's called as AutoML. So if you go online and put what is automated machine learning, it trains multiple different models and do work with it. So what concepts you're looking for is called as hyperparameters. So just go and like start looking for what is hyperparameterization. It is for one model. Once you do and learn about one model, you'll start also learning about a concept which is a bit different than that, which is called as like moving from hyperparameterization to automated machine learning. Automated machine learning is like running with the same data set for multiple models and figuring out on the basis of which one run better, and on the basis of like retraining the data sets to get it better. Hyperparameter tuning is, let's say one thing has a constant value of 1.6, another time we add a constant value of 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2.0 and see which one gets better results. But yes, it takes a huge amount of time. So for that, make sure you go online and just put AutoML, automated machine learning, and what is hyperparameter tuning. So once you learn about hyperparameter tuning, automated machine learning, it will solve all your problems, how you can take multiple models and mix them to find the best model.
I have a doubt.
Yes.
Um, why do we call deep learning is a subset as machine learning?
Oh, no, it's not called. Who is saying that? It's wrong. No, deep learning is not subset of machine learning. Actually, deep learning is a different concept. Machine learning is a different concept. So normally the learning or the artificial world is divided into three types: artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning. Machine learning and deep learning has similarities, but they are not same. The reason is because this neural networks fall into deep learning. Yes,
Yeah,
neural
but
networks are
machine
formed out
learning.
of machine learning. See, it's more about, for example, you learn computer science, right? So if
Yeah.
I say your software and hardware are two different things, you'll agree? Like
Software and
hardware are two different things, right? But do you
yeah.
know software is application of hardware?
Yeah.
Assembly language is used to develop up your C language. So your first languages were developed from a hardware language. So until unless you have a hardware language, you cannot create a software interface. So it's a similar thing. It's just like it's a concept where people start feeling like deep learning is a subset of machine learning, because deep learning actually uses machine learning as an application to develop it. Though the concept is different. Machine learning is utilized for certain different category, that is for certain different reasons. And deep learning is used for certain different reasons. That is the reason we named it different. It is just like saying like cold water and hot water. Both of them are water. But just to distinguish them, that this is used for cold, this is used for hot. That is the reason we distinguished it. That is the only reason behind it. Otherwise, both of
Yeah,
them are
but
actually
as
used
far
in the
as
learning
I
process.
know,
Yes.
no, but as far as I know, machine learning uh, has a human intervention, but deep learning doesn't have any human intervention
No,
for
that's
getting.
wrong. Who said like machine learning can't have like has human intervention? No, we don't have. See, machine learning have three categories: supervised, unsupervised, reinforced. Reinforced learning is something which matches with your deep learning. It doesn't have human intervention. Again, unsupervised learning is unsupervised data. We give only input, we don't give output. So again, no human intervention. Supervised learning does have human intervention a lot, because there we fix a hypothesis, and on the basis of that we predict it. So there is two types of analysis. One is your exploratory, another is confirmatory. Confirmatory analysis have human intervention. Exploratory analysis doesn't have a human intervention. Also, if you consider about input, a neural network cannot be created without a human creating a model, right? So basically, human intervention is at start at everywhere. Afterwards, your machine learning has reinforced learning and your unsupervised learning. In some cases, in both of them, some algorithms does have it, but in most of the algorithms, you don't have any human intervention. Only in supervised learning, you have human intervention. So machine learning also have three categories.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I was actually talking about that supervised one.
No, so that is only one category, right? There's also two other categories. So you have to start learning about other categories as well. So for example, I talked about clustering. Clustering doesn't fall into supervised learning. It falls into unsupervised learning. It doesn't know anything. You're getting the logic, right?
Yeah. Okay.
See,
Thank
it's
you, sir.
all about learning. It's a very big field. Don't worry, it's a really big field. So even I took like around 2 years in my college to learn it. So once you start learning it, so when you go back like today in the evening or later, start learning about unsupervised learning and reinforced learning as well. You'll find real fun. So there's a lot of fields actually. It's more about like learning about other things as well. You have learned supervised learning today, which is your KNN. You would have learned about your a priori algorithm and more like that. So just try to move also to the reinforced and unsupervised. You'll find the similarities to deep learning over there. and how the human intervention is not added as part of it. And try to learn everything as part of exploratory analysis and confirmatory analysis. If you can't draw a hypothesis, you're not a good machine learning engineer. So you should know how to draw a hypothesis and prove it.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I was confused with many things, as because many things are much more similar, like deep learning and machine learning. But I got the difference now. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yes. Anyone else? Akash, your hand is still raised up. Like you have another like question along with it. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Feel free to ask it. Okay. This field is really huge. Okay. It's like mathematics. It has a problem with multiple ways to solve it. So you can solve it in a variety of scope. Okay, so I'll just give everyone a bit of a time to think about it. In the meantime, I'll just show you across the Q&A maker. I'm sure it is active now. Yes, it is active. So I'll just go for the English, name it as, let's say SRM as my knowledge base. So it is basically the place where all the questions will be stored. I want to populate it. No, I'll just make it a chit chat. So I'm going to do it because actually I wanted to have a personality, or else it will take a lot of time to give you an example of how it functions. So let me give it a professional level of chit chat. No, I don't like that one. Enthusiastic one. That's fine. I'll just create a knowledge base. It will just create it in a quick fashion. So we're going to see a real-time knowledge base now. In the meantime, I'll just also get something ready. Yes, it is adding it. Yes, you can see this is a small one. To test it, I'll just click on test. I'll go over here and I can start testing it. So we don't have enough time, or else actually I would have just hosted it. So to host it, it's very easy. You just go on the publish, click on publish. Here you'll get the options to publish it. That is, once you get on the bot. So okay, I don't have the bot over here. So once you get on a certain bot, it will get published over here. And as part of that bot, you should be able to do the things. That is, you'll get a bot over here. As part of that bot, you'll find the options to publish it. It will give you the iframe, that is HTML iframe part, and it will ask you a key. The key is available as part of it as an endpoint. That is a key. Endpoint is, by the way, APIs or normally. Okay. So endpoint is something on which you access entry and exit of something. Is called as an endpoint. It could be your IoT device. It could be a door to your home. It is an endpoint. So endpoint is basically your APIs. So basically that can be utilized. So currently we don't have enough time, or else I would have shown it and actually hosted it. So let's check it. So let me ask you a question. How old are you? I'm a bot. I don't have age. Okay. I hate you. Ouch. Okay, that's enthusiastic one. It's not enthusiastic, surely. Okay, let's say I love you. What it says. Oh, okay. I want to get rid of you. I'm just having fun. Okay. Haha, you're so funny. Okay. What is your name? So you can see, like, I put up like what as a capital, still it is able to get the things of it. So if I click on something, it will just tell me like how that response came in. For example, if I say like the right answer should be, I don't think I have a boss. That's just got it added. So this is something that gets added. So for example, if I add up a Q&A page quickly to show it like, I want to buy consultancy services. And I'll just put consultancy services. What services you do offer? Okay, and as an answer, I'll just leave it as it is. Like here are our services. And I'm going to do a very quick one. Okay, so maybe it will just look too quick for everyone. So I'm just doing a quick one because of the time. So I'll just add up over here, let's say business, like let's say that's our proper services. So sales and marketing consultation, let's say, and the answer will be, we provide you with sales automation and market research along with data science as the catalyst. Okay, and that's one. Then I'll add one more. It will be, let's say, automation consultation. We automate your business with IT infra, and services to be available with lesser manual intervention. So I'm just typing fast, so spellings are wrong. And DevOps. Okay, so let me just firstly save it. We have to actually save it every time so that it gets available. So I'm just going to do it as a quick way. It might take a bit of a time, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to add up a follow-up prompt that is display sets, let's say automation consulting. So I'm doing it just to show you all that how actually it runs and where it gets connected and how we do it. So I'm doing it really fast, no doubt. So that is the reason it is a bit hard to follow up and do it yourself. But yes, so I can't do a thing because I don't want to kill up a lot of time as well. It's a big topic, as I said, so it takes around like a week or something to do things like this. Okay, so I have added this and here are services, and I'll just like say like to know more, visit our website. And I'll just maybe make this thing convert into my website. My website is also actually currently making, that's like an updation. Okay, that's done. Save and train it. So I'll just show you what I did. Okay, I did a very basic one. Now this can be so much helpful for me. Okay, it's done. Let me test it. I'll just start over. I'll just say hi. Hi. Your name. I don't think I have a boss. You see, last time I told it that you should answer like this. Now it answered that way. So it starts learning so fast. It's a neural network and it is using theory of mind. So now I'm going to just ask it. Your services, please. So you see, like I'm adding it in a different way. Okay. So if you see over here that I have written like I want to buy consultancy, what services you do offer. I'm writing in a different way. So it's a semantic difference. A person might write it in a different way. Still, it can understand it. That is what we say a semantic analyzing. It is able to figure out grammar. So now it says, here are our services. To visit more, if I click on this, you see, oh, I think so I would have had www was missing over there. No problem. But anyway, now it sends it to the website. Now it gives me an option, automation consulting, sales consulting, and I can click on it. I click on automation consulting. It gives me an option about that. Sales consulting gives me an option about that. I can add photos and a lot of things to make it more worthwhile. This is how advanced the world has become. I've given the links to this one, like what it is called as part of the chat already. It's called as QNAmaker.ai. If you want to add language understanding that is higher level grammar in multiple languages, then you can use Lewis.ai to make the bot more faster. This is one of the offerings in the Microsoft Azure. So you might feel like today I'm endorsing Microsoft, but not actually. I've got a free pass of it. That is the reason I do it. I also work in AWS. So as part of AWS, you have to use SageMaker to do things. And as part of your Google, you have the Google-based AI services, which are differently named. So you have a lot of different services. So as a Microsoft certified trainer, I get access to all this and I train all this. So there's a reason I know all this. So it's fun. And to run all this, you have to go for AI 102, which is the class. Okay. So yes, I'll just stop here. So I don't want to kill up like a lot more time as part of this one. So that was a quick thing I wanted to show. Yes, so we have, I guess, only 2 minutes on our hand now. I think so. I took a lot of time there. Okay, I'll just stop the sharing then, I guess. Yes, I have also removed my spotlight.
Excuse me. Now, vote of thanks will be given by our student, Miss Madhura. Madhura?
So my greetings to one and all present here, and it is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this event. So on behalf of the CIC Department of SRM Vadapalani and the volunteers, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the honorable delegate who took out valuable time out of his busy schedule and blessed us with his presence. I must mention a deep sense of appreciation to Mr. Shubham Kumbhar for his wonderful session and sharing abundant knowledge with us today. Thank you, sir. I also wish to express my gratitude to our HOD, Dr. Prasanna Devi ma'am, for providing constant encouragement and support. I thank all our teachers and staff members for the tremendous support and contribution. I heartily thank all the participants for their active participation in today's event. As no program can be successful with a single person, I extend my big thanks to our CIC department and its volunteers for their effort and support. Thank you, one and all. And I request the participants to fill in the feedback form in the chat box to get your attendance and certificates. Thank you.
Shubham?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here itself.
The chat I can't able to enable.
Oh, it's already
Like-
enabled, ma'am. It's already enabled.
I can't able to post the link.
It's check now, ma'am. It's already even enabled actually.
Just a minute.
Because everyone was able to put things in there. So yes, it is enabled.
No. Okay. Okay. Can I send it to you through WhatsApp? Can you post it
Yes,
there in
sure.
the chat?
Sure, ma'am.
Just a minute.
In the meantime, if someone has, just put it in the chat, okay? I like fun because I'm like a person who normally teaches people. So just as a trainer, I have fun like teaching people around all these things. I would have been like able to like give more information about it, but yeah, the time was there. So I think so in 1.5 hours, this was all the thing I was able to give. So I hope everyone enjoyed it though, actually. And surely you can always get in touch with me like anytime if you want to. Okay, so I always like to help people around.
Madhura, please post the chat the link, feedback link.
Yes, ma'am, I posted it.
Dear students, please fill the feedback form. Hope you enjoyed, you have learned, you have enriched your knowledge. And thank you once again, Shubham, for spending your valuable time.
It's my pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other queries you can ask, ma? Yeah. So those who have filled the feedback form, you can leave. Shall we wind up, Shubham?
Yeah, sure. If no one has any question, that's fine for me.
No, they really understood. It was very amazing and understandable session. Anyway, if you are having recordings there in your drive, kindly share it with me.
That's I guess so, ma'am. This recording will go into your cloud only, right? I think so.
No, local drive, who is the host, it will be sharing. Some mistakenly, if it was there, means please share.
Okay, sure. I'll just share it across.
Thank you.
I guess so. Yes, it's getting recording into my local one.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
doesn't have the cloud one active over here.
Yeah. Please share it.
Yes, sure.
Thanks a lot.
Recording cannot be shared over. Someone asked it around, so recording cannot be shared over here. I'll just share it across to ma'am, I guess, so she will just like circulate to all the departments.
No. Later in personal, you can share it through my mail.
That's it. Like I'll share it to you, then you can share it across to others. That's
yeah.
Someone asked
Okay.
it around, so I was just like telling it across.
Yes, that also.
And yes, so okay. I think so. Everything is done as part of it. Yes, I'll just do a quick thing. I think so. I might have it, so I'll just check it across everyone. So if I have it, no, I don't. So I'll also share across everyone like a small cheat sheet which I have from like Stanford. It's a nice one on R programming. I'll also share it to the ma'am so she can share it across to you all guys. So you can also get like good information as part of it. I would have been like happy to give you more information on all of the things, but yes, surely we have time constraints. So best of luck with your machine learning career and artificial intelligence career. There is a lot of things to learn and no one can complete it. Even everyone has a specialty. My specialty lies into swarm intelligence, as I said. So I'm a specialized person to swarm intelligence and data analysis. So if you ever like find any problem with that, surely get in touch with me. You can always get the information about me from the ma'am, so she can surely share it across. Like how to get in touch with me. I'm also putting my number just in case in the chat, so someone can note it down and then share it across to your friends as well. So I'll just share it across in the chat if you want to get my number. So that's my official number, so you can always get in touch with me. So that's it. And yes, best of luck with your further career. And yes, try to brush up your basics, okay, everyone. So not just for machine learning, for everyone. We realized it late after pass out, and after like I started my own company. That's a different case. So I had time with it, but at time of placements, you will really feel bad if you don't understand the basics. So brush up your basics. College teaches you basics. Learn your basics, and that basics can take you big. I still remember Karthikayani ma'am actually taught me C++. So she's my teacher for C++. So it's really important to learn basics, apply basics, and as part of that application, you can really go big. It's all about you, how you apply it. So yeah, it's just like life. We learned it late. It's like we feel like college teaches us less, but no, it's just that they're teaching us basics. It's our job to go forward and learn advanced things. So for example, I shared you actually today just not even 1% of artificial intelligence. There's a lot more to learn. So best of luck, everyone. And yes, I'm here itself for next 5 minutes, I guess. So in 5-10 minutes, I think so. And after that, the session will close.
Later, we are planning for a workshop. That time we will invite you. Thanks a lot. It was really amazing. It was really amazing. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I'll just make you, ma'am, again, I guess so, the host.
Okay. No problem.
That way, like by mistake, if I leave, the meeting should not close.
Okay. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Please fill the feedback and leave. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Harini.
Ma'am, what to write in organization part in a Google form which you sent, Mathura sent?
Which one, ma'am?
The feedback form, ma'am.
Okay.
That thing. Wait 1 minute. It's asking for organization. So what to write in that?
Yes, Aram.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Shubham.
Yep. So thank you, everyone, once again. And okay, see you around. I have my number in the chat, so you can always like take it across and use it for like putting me a message. Maybe I'll not pick up the call, okay, because normally I'm in 2 different meetings. So normally put me a message. I'm more than happy to help people. So yes, so see you all around and have a good day. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you, Surem, for giving me this opportunity. See you all around, and bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Please post your feedback and leave.